decides to fatally stab a mother and a child. The child actually died. Let's put it up full mass. You're looking at a 71-year-old who goes by the name of Joseph Zuba. This was in Will County, Illinois. Stabbed a mother, also stabbed her son, who was only 6 years of age. Killing the child Saturday morning, according to the autopsy, a military-style knife with a 7-inch serrated blade was used to stab the child 26 times. The senseless and cowardly act of violence was motivated due to the victims being Muslim and because of the war between Israel and Hamas. Let's put up the child. The father of this 6-year-old, Wadia El Fayumi, released this photo of the child who celebrated his birthday a few weeks ago. Reports also stated Wadia and his mother are Palestinian. Let me give you some details of this attack. Authorities said that the mother, identified by civil rights organization CARE Chicago as Hanan Shaheen, called 911 on Saturday to say that her landlord had attacked her with a knife. Her landlord attacked her with a knife. According to deputies, she said she ran into the bathroom and continued to fight him off as she dialed 911. Quote, according to written text messages reportedly sent to the father of the child by the mother from the hospital, and she shared with CARE Chicago, the landlord, who had been angry with what he was seeing in the news, knocked on their door. And when she opened, he tried to choke her and proceeded to attack her with a knife, yelling, "You Muslim must die," end quote. When she ran into the bathroom to call 911, she came out to find that he had stabbed her 6-year-old son to death. Deputies said they arrived at the home to find Zuba sitting upright on the ground near the driveway of the home. They took him to the hospital because of a laceration on his forehead. Law enforcement said they found the woman and the child in the residence suffering from stab wounds to their chest, torso, and upper extremities. Authorities said the woman was in serious condition from more than a dozen stab wounds to her body. She is expected to survive. The child was taken to the hospital in critical condition and died. The organization said that mother and son had lived on the ground floor of the home for 2 years. No previous issues, no problems prior with the landlord. After his release from the hospital, the landlord allegedly told investigators nothing about the attack. But authorities said they were able to find enough information from interviews and other evidence to charge him with first-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, and 2 counts of a hate crime. The civil rights organization says that lopsided statements from officials and media coverage created the atmosphere in which the crime happened. This unthinkable, senseless crime did not happen in a vacuum, said the executive director, Ahmed Rahab. Now, that is an accurate statement. But let me show how accurate that statement is. Do you remember during our so-called war on terrorism? Remember that? Remember the American government said that people were being radicalized by way of what? By way of propaganda, videos. Remember that? And there was this massive crackdown on all of these videos that could be accessed through media platforms, social media platforms right here in America, because according to the American government, these videos were radicalizing terrorists. Now, that is considered to be a fundamental connection between what a person consumes by way of media and what a person does by way of action. So the government, the American government, can make that conclusion back then. Why would we dismiss that conclusion today? All right. Damn shame. David, thoughts?
My heart goes out to this family in Chicago. There's no words. It's tragic. Anybody who could bring a knife, never mind to an adult, but to a 6-year-old child, there's something just so horrific and terribly wrong about that. And I think one of the reasons that people have gotten so infuriated, obviously, in watching these images out of Israel and Gaza, is that when you see somebody go in and hand to hand, literally, rape and pillage with their own hands and their own knives, sure, that causes a reaction. But what this landlord did in Chicago is just as evil and just as awful. And there's no justifying it. If somebody can't handle watching the news and something in the news makes them snap, that person should be put away to begin with. They shouldn't have access to the news or to television or whatnot. And the sad thing is, Dr. Rashad, I think Dr. Ritchie, I think there's a lot of people in our midst who are walking around every day who are maybe like this close to exploding or to doing something violent. And it's just a matter of, well, what's the trigger that it's going to be? What is going to resonate with them and cause them to do something that is so barbaric? And I just fear for all of our fellow citizens who have to deal with people who are like that, who are that close to exploding.
So sad. So sad.